episode of Mostly Wrong Opinions. I am Tyrone. That is Devin. Let's get into it, people. Let's get into the fashion icon of a movie that's out now. House of Gucci.
Gucci needs new blood.
It's time to take out the trash.
They're my family.
So am I.
So much drama.
Boy, man, rich people. They are something to behold. It's like if you're, the Australian outback is like, as we watch the rich white people here on this line of fashion clothing. Watch as they just tear each other apart.
But they're tearing each other apart over like some of this stupidest stuff. And you're like, what? It's like you said, rich white people problems.
Basically, this movie is talking about the rise and the fall of the people that surrounded the family of the Gucci's.
Well, I don't know. I don't even. As we talked about this briefly, this really wasn't about the rise of Gucci, which is what I thought this would be. When the movie starts, Gucci's already established.
Yeah, it's already established.
And Gucci's already top of the line. And the family, the house of Gucci, the family of Gucci, they're already rich. And everyone knows them. And so I thought this would be about, like you said, the rise of Gucci, how they rose from nothing and became this great brand. Mm-hmm. But no,
it's like the downfall.
They're there. Yeah,
it's more so about the downfall of Gucci, right?
It's about the series of events that led to the murder of Maurizio. Is that his name, Maurizio?
Maurizio Gucci.
Yeah, the murder of Maurizio Gucci. And it's weird. It's really weird. And we talked about this too when we were chit-chatting earlier. Yeah. That this movie to me, it's like two movies slammed together. And the two very different movies slammed together. And the first half is kind of a farce. It's kind of almost like a joke where everyone's got these really silly issues where like the biggest drama was like, did you know that they're selling knockoff Gucci bags? They're like, no, not knockoff Gucci bag. I'm like, okay. And one guy's like, calm down. Al Pacino's like, we're not going to do anything about it. It's okay. I'm like, what the heck? It's the silliest stuff,
The character of Lady Gaga, what she was playing, she plays the wife of Maurizio Gucci.
The first half is like their meet cute, where she's super aggressive, and she really likes him, and he seems to be indifferent until it kind of switches, where he's like, yeah, I think I really love this girl. I want to get married. And his father's like, no. She comes from a family of truck drivers. No, you can't have that.
Played by Jeremy Irons. I love Jeremy Irons, man.
Which, by the way, I think he was the best actor in here. I think, and I think people will not be singing his praises because his role was so small. But it took me a minute. I was like, that's Jeremy Irons. But I thought he was absolutely fantastic. Jeremy Irons' character, who's like the patriarch, he thinks that
his father, yeah,
right. He thinks Patrizia only wants money, but it turns out she doesn't. She wants that power, baby. She wants
the power.
Yeah, she's not interested in the money. She wants the power. And she gets absolutely drunk with it. And it gets out of hand. And this movie takes a serious tonal shift. Now, I knew that Maurizio Gucci got shot. I knew that. But so I knew this film would end, violently. But it starts off so light and funny. Mm-hmm. Like you said earlier, you were like, was I supposed to laugh? Yeah, I'm like, I think you were. I think it was supposed to be kind of funny until it's not anymore.
I saw this movie with my friend Gina, and we were laughing so much at Jared Leto's portrayal of Pablo Gucci. And his prosthetics, you can barely see Jared. Only if you looked him in the eyes, you saw Jared Leto. And
he's got like a high pitch, like
yes,
like Super Mario, bro. He's like,
it's me, Pablo. And he was very animated with his hands throughout the whole film.
No one's ever said that to me ever in my life. Yeah.
Bro, the funniest thing. I gotta say it. This is the beginning of it, like when all the families meeting up and stuff. When you first meet Pablo Gucci, and he's talking to Aldo Gucci, which is his father, played by Al Pacino, when Pablo Gucci says, "I'm like a river," and then Aldo said, "Build a dam."
Yeah, sure did. He was like, Al Pacino's brother, whose name I can't remember his name anymore, played by Jeremy Irons. He's like, and he was looking at Pablo's designs. He's like, "This is incredible. You have achieved a level of mediocrity I've never seen in my life." It's like, dang.
And he's like, no pastels,
yeah,
no brown, none of that stuff.
And again, that the first half, that's the high drama. It's like, do browns and pastels match? Maybe. No, they don't. Maybe. You know, and it's so like their dramas are like so ridiculous until they're not. And so like that first half reminded me a lot of The Wolf of Wall Street, where there's just so much money, so much excess, right? That it just becomes like you said, kind of funny, right? Except instead of it being like really like active and crazy like a Wolf of Wall Street, this one, they don't seem to realize that they're being silly. Like in Wolf of Wall Street, those guys were all jackasses, and they were unapologetic about it. This one, they no one seems to realize how stuck up and arrogant and kind of stupid they all sound. Which is where I think the comedy comes from.
I think Lady Gaga was going for her Oscar for this film. She really took this thing super serious.
Yeah, and you know, I gotta be honest, Lady Gaga killed it. She really did a good job. And actually, I think she might have done a better job here than she did in A Star Is Born, because in A Star Is Born, I think she was a little more in her element. Where
music and everything.
Yeah, exactly. She could rely on her singing, her natural stage charisma. She could rely on playing the piano, all that kind of stuff. Here, there's no music, no instruments, nothing. She is 100% an actress all the way through. She doesn't have one foot dipped in the music at all. So I feel like this was a much heavier lift for her, and I thought she did a really, really good job. And she shared a lot of scenes with freaking Al Pacino, and so it's easy to look like an idiot when you're next to Al Pacino. And Al Pacino himself, who's known for doing these like wacky, crazy characters, he's quite subdued. And it kind of reminds me, I'm like, right, Al Pacino is like the shit. Like, you forget sometimes, because he's always like doing these like crazy, like big, larger than life type roles that he's been doing.
She got a great ass, and you got your head all the way up it. Where did you learn your trade, you stupid fucking cunt, you idiot? Whoever told you that you could work with men?
This one, a lot more subdued, and I thought he did great.
Yeah, you know, when you look into this movie, people, and you're looking at it, it's like a world that you feel that you will never be a part of.
And you probably don't want to be a part of this. This ain't no good. Because the House of Gucci is divided. They were divided between two brothers, the main leader of the House of Gucci, played by Jeremy Irons, and his Ronaldo, thank you. And Ronaldo and Aldo, is that his name? Aldo?
Yeah.
Okay. Aldo. Played by Al Pacino. They have different ideas of how to move the Gucci brand into the 80s, right? Into modern day. This rivalry trickles down to their kids, where their two sons, Pablo and Maurizio, they don't get along. And in the middle of all this, you got Patrizia, played by Lady Gaga, stirring the pot, and she is making trouble.
I want to be correct. I want to make a correction. It was Rodolphe Gucci. Rodolphe.
Okay.
Rodolphe.
Okay. Yeah. Played by Jeremy Irons. Yep. Yeah. I got confused with some of these names too. If I'm wrong now, let me make sure. I believe the Gucci who started the Gucci brand, I think his name was like Guccio Gucci. Like, yeah. What's these people's names?
Rodolphe's father is Guccio Gucci.
Yeah, what the heck? That's so funny. All of this leads up to, of course, a very violent and bizarre end, with Maurizio getting shot multiple times on the stairs, and he was set up by his wife, played by Lady Gaga. And you're like, what? So the movie takes such a shift. Lady Gaga's character, she starts talking to some like TV psychic and gets all kind of weird things in her head, and it really turns left, which is again tonally strange. But I think from a technical standpoint, Ridley Scott did a fantastic job. Like, this was a movie made by like a sure hand. Like, he knew exactly what he was doing.
When you're doing a film like this, you want to stay true to that true story, but you also want to be respectful to the family members of, this true story.
Let's talk about the elephant in the room. What I think the most controversial thing about this movie, which you've already touched on it a bit, and that is Jared Leto. So Jared Leto is in a different movie from everyone else, and I'm not sure if it's good or not. I am divided on what I saw with Jared Leto. And on one hand, I think it is impressive that I didn't even realize that was him. I realized I noticed that was him when I looked up the movie later. I was like, oh, that was Jared Leto. But so that's on one hand. But on the other, he is wearing so much makeup, and his character, like I said, it kind of sounds like Super Mario, and he's kind of a joke. But his character's also a joke. Yeah. So I'm really divided on what I saw, because it's weird to see Jared Leto acting next to Lady Gaga, turning in probably the best performance of her life. Al Pacino absolutely killing the game again and again. He's standing next to these legends doing that,
and he's a buffoon.
And I'm like, I don't know who to blame for. Is this? Like, Ridley Scott, he wasn't like, Jared, calm down. Like, what are you doing?
I think the only reason he was like that is because if Pablo Francisco was that type of flamboyant, not flamboyant in a homosexual way, just very colorful, goofy person, then I guess he hit it spot on. I wouldn't know. You wouldn't know.
The movie took liberties with other things. Like, we only saw one daughter. He had Maurizio had multiple children. We only saw one in the film. That seemed like a big deal. It also skipped around where some characters were dead in real life, like towards the end that they didn't acknowledge. So like they took all kind of liberties. So and if he really was like that, why not cast someone who looks more the part? Why cake Jared Leto up in makeup like that? That was weird. But that's not to say it wasn't good. Like, he did. I think in a way, I think that it was probably really good. But another way, like I said, I think he was in a different movie. Like, it's hard. It was kind of, every time he showed up on screen, I'm like, what am I looking at? That's what I thought. That was happening in my head the whole time.
Yeah, it is crazy. What we're not even talking about in this film? We're not talking about Adam Driver.
Which is a shame, because he too also turned in maybe one of the best performances of his career too. I thought that was Kylo Ren.
That's Kylo Ren. Yeah. That was Kylo Ren.
Yeah, like you kind of forget that. Like I totally believe that was a new character, a new actor. Like, I thought he did awesome. I thought he did great. I think this is the kind of movie that could get a lot of nominations. Like, I think Al Pacino deserves a nomination. Shoot, I think Gaga deserves another nomination. I thought Adam Driver deserved another nomination. I know Jeremy Irons probably won't get a nomination, but I thought he killed it. I've never seen Jeremy Irons do such a great job. And they used, I keep going on about Jeremy Irons, but he's got that cool voice. He's got like the coolest voice on earth. And in this movie, they use that because he's sick, right? So his gravelly, nasty voice it got worse and worse and harsher. And he got a nasty cough, and he had bags under his eyes. He looked evil or something. And I thought it was awesome.
And Jared is most likely gonna get a nomination because he's already an Oscar winner. So I'm not sure if they should get. I don't know, man. I don't say I know if you should. I'm not saying you should.
I know.
But the Academy is gonna be like,
you never know. The Academy is sort of random and off the wall. Like I said this last year, they don't even watch these movies, so who knows? But Jared Leto, his performance was so bizarre and kind of campy and strange that I don't know if I should be embarrassed for him or if I should be in awe at how great a performance that was, because it was weird. that was some weird shit.
I'm gonna go ahead and give my my rating on this for House of Gucci. With you know, the comedy tonal switch to seriousness, you know, I guess I don't know if I'm taking and docking points with that. It's just something that is definitely there, and you can observe it quickly. And it's seen, it's obvious. All the actors did a good job, even Jared Leto in my mind. And I'm just gonna go ahead and give this a 7.5.
Cool. I am docking points for that tonal shift. I don't think, maybe there's some exceptions, but I think your tone should probably stay consistent throughout the film. If you get a tonal jump like that, there might be a problem, you know? That's probably indicative of some kind of a problem. Like what I suspect is Ridley Scott wanted to make that first half of the film. That's the movie he wanted to make, but the actual events of
he had to tell it.
Yeah, exactly. There was a murder involved, right? So he had to turn this big ship the other way and move us into like this kind of conspiracy murder thing. So I am going to dock points for that. So you gave it a 7.5. I'm giving this movie a 7. I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. I thought the acting was really, really good. But once that shift came and we kind of left the kind of funny, campy, wacky thing and moved towards like a murder thing, to me the movie slowed down after that. Like the movie, I could like feel the brakes dragging on this film.
Getting into the details of people who signing contracts, not signing contracts,
right.
signing over big shares and stuff like that, and then
the
leading to other people and
really
backstabbing. It's like, Jesus Christ.
The movie really started to grind slow, because that first half breezed for me. I was really enjoying it. I was enjoying the wacky 80s fashion and all that stuff. And then all that kind of got tossed out the window for this conspiracy thing. And I don't think Ridley Scott was as interested in that part, which is why the movie dragged. So some of that stuff probably could have been trimmed down and we could have gotten a shorter movie, a tighter movie. So I am docking points for the bizarre tonal shift. And Jared Leto, I don't know, man. I feel like I gotta watch that again. That was weird. That is a weird performance. He stands out. That is weird.
Stands out completely. Not just in his wardrobe, man. His demeanor, his hand movement, all of that stuff.
But at the same time, is that great? I guess it's great because he totally turned into someone else. But like, what the fuck was that? It was still strange.
If you know Jared Leto, man, he's one of the most coolest, laid-back, soft-spoken rock stars you'll ever see and hear.
Yeah, kinda. I mean, I think he thinks he's Jesus or something, though. So. Like he's got disciples and all that. I don't know if that's cool, but you know, he's definitely a strange guy.
I'm not saying he's humble.
He's not that.
I'm not saying that.
It was just such a showy performance. That it felt like it was a good performance, but in the wrong movie or something. Like he was in a completely different movie than everyone else.
Well, people, I gave this film a 7.5. Devin gave this film a 7.
I'm not sure if I recommend it. I'm like on the fence.
Yeah, definitely.
I think the first half was really good, and I thought it was really fantastic. But that shift was bizarre, and the movie starts to drag. So I'm not sure. If you want to see some fantastic acting, this is your movie. Check that out.
And that is our review for House of Gucci.
I don't consider myself to be a particularly ethical person, but I am fair.
All right, guys, we would like to thank you for clicking on this video here. We are always having fun. We're always here for you guys, giving you great reviews on movies. Go through our catalog. We have a lot, even some stuff that we call our mostly wrong opinions rewind. Go look at some of those older films. There's some good stuff that we have in there. And also catch our reactions that we did with What If and all that stuff. You know, we got Hawkeye coming up a little bit later on in the week. And, please do us a favor. Hit the subscribe button to see it all. All right? It's
right there.
It's right there. And hit that ding ding to get the ding ding. All right?
I think he means hit the bell for notifications. I think that's what he meant.
Please do that. Please do that. And if you did like our review on this video, please leave that thumbs up. It really does help out this channel. Or you can leave the thumbs down if you want to, if it's still there. Whichever one you do, it is your opinion to do. But just remember one thing, people. It's mostly wrong.
It's mostly wrong. You gotta do what it
wrong.
is.
Aye, the beats, the mostly wrong. Jared Leto. Aye.